If you have a purpose on your life, no matter what you do, God's gonna get you all alone so you can fulfill your purpose. I was running from a purpose ever since I was a child. You can't outrun the purpose that God has on your life. Hey YouTube, I'm Tevin, but you guys can call me T. No matter how much you run, no matter how far you go, if there's a purpose on your life, you'll never outrun it. You can't hide from it. Remember, every time Jonah tried to flee from the mission that God had for him, and everything that he did ended up bringing him back to where he was supposed to be. If there's a purpose on your life, no matter what you do, no matter how far you run, you will end up right back at the base. You will end up right back at the start to fulfill that purpose. If you're living a life that God doesn't want you to live, He'll keep sending adversaries to break you down, to get you all alone, to isolate you. So in that season, He can purify you so that you can become the person who can handle the mission. That happened to me before, bro. I was living a life where I was content. I was living a life where I just wanted to be mediocre. It was okay to be mediocre. It was okay to live in my flesh, to live for sin. But God broke me down. I was left in a season of isolation. I was left in a season of loneliness. There was no one to turn to. There was nowhere to go. It was just me. And in that season is where I got closer with God. In that season where I got closer with myself and was able to overcome insecurities. It was because of that season that I'm able to be here right now. Yo, I was running from a purpose. Ever since I was a child, I always had the gift of motivating and encouraging people, and I was running away from that. I wanted to live in my flesh. I wanted to live after lust. I wanted to just be devoured by lust, and God had to separate me from everyone that was around me. God had to break me down so He could get me right here. If you have a purpose on your life, no matter what you do, God's gonna get you all alone so you can fulfill your purpose. You are a chosen one. God wouldn't want you, one of His chosen soldiers, to be led astray. You can't keep running. You can't keep fighting the plan that God has for you. Yo, be still and know that He is God. Yo, it is easier to be still than to actually keep running. You're wasting your energy. You're wasting time. As a matter of fact, time you're not going to get back. And the sooner you actually start doing this mission, the sooner you get on the path of the mission, it's the easier life becomes. Yeah, I'm not gonna say you're not gonna face your adversaries, but knowing that, yo, God is there leading you, God is there protecting you, is way better than knowing that, yo, there's no one to fall back on. Knowing that, oh, I gotta smoke to numb the pain, I gotta drink to numb the pain. After a while, that gets exhausting. After a while, the sex just feel meaningless. There's no emotion behind it. You ever have sex with a girl and it's like, yo, I just don't feel like having sex. There's no emotion in it. There's no passion. I'm just having sex to have sex. Yo, that's killing your own soul, bro. Smoking every day, bro, you smell like death. You reap off death. That's how it smells when people smoke. It just smells like death. And then drinking constantly, you're making a fool out of yourself. You're killing yourself slowly. You're running away from the assignment that God has for you. But the moment you decide to follow the plan is the moment you're going to get better. The moment your life is going to start improving. Yo, I started all of this because I wanted to elevate, but I still was running from God. And even so, He had to break me down. He had to show me that, yo, I'm not doing this for my benefit. I'm doing this for the benefit of others. He made me into a servant. And yo, honestly, I prefer it that way. I prefer serving others than serving myself. I decided to own up to the assignment and just lock in and do it. Because I know that the success that I want is guaranteed no matter what. So why not just do the assignment that God has for me when my success is guaranteed? My success is inevitable. You can't keep running from your assignment. You keep facing adversaries. You keep fighting enemies. There will always be obstacles in your way, no matter how far you run, no matter how long you run, and no matter where you go to hide. You can't keep numbing all the pain with drugs and alcohol. You can't use sex to cope anymore. One of these days, it's gonna get to you and you'll have to decide. Focus on your purpose, bro. Stop running from your purpose. God designed you for something greater. God designed all of us for something greater. And some of us are here wasting our time. Some of us are here not doing what He commanded us to do, not doing what He created us to do. Some of us are the person who can lead someone from a life of regret, a life of death and danger. But we're wasting our times, we're wasting our time doing something else, something mediocre, something that's killing our own soul, something that's dragging us down. Yo, I don't say you have to come on camera and do the exact same thing as me. Yo, by just changing your attitude, changing the way how you speak, changing the way how you dress, that's inspiring someone else. That's teaching someone else that, yo, they don't have to follow the same path that everyone else is doing. Yo, I grew up in Spanish Town, Jamaica. That's one of the deadliest places in the island. And I don't go around acting like I'm from Spanish Town, because no one has to know that I'm from a certain area. I deal with myself prestige. I hold myself to the highest regards. You don't have to act like you're from a certain area. And others can look up to me and don't have to act the exact same way. I learned that from a principal in high school. Yo, that man said, yo, you don't have to act like you're from the worst place ever. No one has to know. And I decided to own that. I decided to engrave that into the person who I want to become. Yo, bro, I still have my slangs. I still talk my certain way. I can still code switch. I can still do all of that. But no one has to know, dog. Yo, the purpose that God has for me is not that life. The purpose that God has for me, the plan that God has for me, doesn't have to do with chopping, doesn't have to do with scamming, guns, or any of those, bro. The purpose that God has for me is to be an inspiration for others. The purpose that God has for you is to be an inspiration to others, to be a leader, to be a guiding light in the darkness. You can't keep running from all of this because you think it's bad, or oh, your friends won't like it. They're gonna look down on you, they're gonna laugh off of you. Yo, I'm gonna be honest, bro. At a certain point, none of those opinions matter. They'll say this, they'll say that, only to hold you down. And at the end of the day, everyone's sleeping, bro. Everyone's gonna eventually forget. Best to just go on the path and follow your purpose, follow your dreams. Focus on the goal at hand. Yo, some of those friends who we keep around us are just there to hold us down. Some of those friends are just drifters. And drifters are people who just drift along with life, just go with the motion, doesn't have any thinking to themselves. They just do what they feel like doing. And usually it's the devil commanding them to just drift through life. And some of those drifters are people who have a purpose on their life, but they let the devil influence them. They let the world influence them, so they just go along with the flow. I used to be a drifter until God had to put me into the isolation period, until I had to face the wilderness on my own. Bro, going through the wilderness was hard. It was struggles, bro. But I knew that I was being purified. I knew that I was being separated and refined. And if I didn't go through the wilderness season, I wouldn't be here right now. Yo, you are going to face hard times on this journey. You are going to face hard times and you can't give up. Because if you give up, it's going to take longer to actually get out of the wilderness. You have to keep going. You have to stay focused. You can't keep running from the assignment that God has at hand. You have to keep pushing. You have to keep going. You have to focus. You have to decide that, yo, you are going to follow the path that God has for you. You are going to be a leader. You are going to be an inspiration for others. You have to keep pushing and decide that, yo, I'm going to live my life for God and not for the world. I'm going to stop feeding my lust. I'm going to stop feeding my flesh. I'm going to stop smoking. I'm going to stop drinking. I'm going to stop wasting time and doing foolishness when I could actually invest back that time into building my relationship with God, into improving me into a better person. No matter how long you run, no matter how far you run, you can't outrun the purpose that God has on your life. But that's the video for the day. Stay focused. Follow your purpose. Peace.